Hi, folks. This is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, recently, my nephew Billy, who was a professor at James Madison University in Virginia, sent me a picture that his best friend had taken while visiting his friend out along, obviously, a body of water. And when I say obviously, the picture is of a blue heron with a fish in its beak. And this picture is amazing because that fish in its beak looks to be at least a foot long. And Billy wanted me to be able to tell them, he says, my one friend thinks it's a bass and my other friend thinks it's a catfish. Can you tell us? So I looked at this picture and sure enough, it's a largemouth bass. But what is so interesting about this, and I wanted to pass this on to you, is that the size of the fish that this blue heron is holding, this fish has got to weigh 1 to 2 pounds, and yet it's holding in its beak. I guess we don't realize the strength that some of these animals and birds really do have. But more important than how strong it is it would take something that big. How's it going to eat it? It doesn't have choppers to be feeding on this thing like a bird of prey might. Does it just gulp it in one effort? I just can't fathom it. But that's what that heron was eating. And think of all the shorebirds that we see around us, from egrets and so forth to blue herons, and think of what are they eating? I always thought maybe they were eating frogs. I've told you many times that I'll stand in the water really still and I almost become like the blue herons, and I've had them be feeding right around me. Indifferent to me there because I'm not startling them. They figure, I guess they're probably right, I'm no competition. But this is amazing, man. It drew my thoughts and memories back to a time I was doing a TV show in the Racket River. And we were fishing for smallmouth bass, and we noticed this osprey that came down to the water. And I said to the people that were with me, I said, that bird can't get back off the water. What's it doing? So we approached it as close as we could get. And what that osprey, if any of you have seen ospreys, yeah, they have a good wingspan, but they're not really a big bird, a big hawk. They're sort of moderate to small size. And yet that osprey had taken a smallmouth that looked to be all of 3 to 4 pounds. I mean, it looked 17 to 20 inches from what we could see. And it couldn't get back off the water. It couldn't lift it. The bass was so heavy, and it saw us there. And rather than let that bass go and leave it and get back to safety, I guess that osprey didn't think it was under danger. And so what it started to do was paddle with both its wings like they were like a boat on the water, and paddle its way across that water. And I'm talking, it was a good 100 to 200 yards to a tree that was in the water, just the branches sticking out, and it sort of climbed up on that tree, still holding that big smallmouth bass. And it just gives a better sense of when we're not around, when we're not fishing or watching or doing or observing, there's a lot going on around us. And that osprey picking up that big a bass just tells that I guess nothing is safe. Heaven knows what an eagle can do. So I thought this was interesting to pass on. I wonder just how big of effect some of these birds have on our fish populations. I don't think it's anything of concern compared to what some of the other invaders can do, but still, it's something to be, I think, to be interested in more than anything. It fascinates me, and I hope it does you too. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.